The morning of January 13th, 1999, began like any other at Woodlawn High School. Hai-Min Lee, an 18-year-old senior with sparkling eyes and an infectious laugh, rushed through the halls balancing books and her latest love letter. By all accounts, she was the golden girl, captain of the lacrosse team, straight-A student, devoted sister who never missed picking up her young cousin from daycare. But when the final bell rang that winter afternoon, Hai vanished without a trace. Her frantic friends would later tell police about the last time they saw her, hurrying to her car, mentioning something about seeing Don, her new boyfriend. But when she failed to appear for her cousin's pickup, an alarm sounded through her tight-knit Korean-American community. This wasn't just uncharacteristic, it was impossible. Hai would never abandon her responsibilities. As hours turned to days, the search intensified. Police found her white 1998 Nissan Sentra abandoned in a parking lot near the school with no signs of struggle. Then came the chilling call on February 9th. A passerby discovered a young woman's body partially buried in Baltimore's Leakin Park, a place locals whispered about for all the wrong reasons. Dental records confirmed everyone's worst fear. Hai had been strangled. The investigation took a dramatic turn when detectives focused on Adnan Syed, Hai's ex-boyfriend. The charming, popular honors student with a bright future now found himself at the center of a nightmare. Classmates whispered about their messy breakup weeks earlier. A mysterious character named Jay Wilds emerged, claiming Adnan had shown him Hai's body in the trunk of a car. Cell phone records placed Adnan near the burial site that evening. But even as the case against Adnan grew, troubling inconsistencies emerged. Why did Jay's story keep changing? Why was there no physical evidence linking Adnan to the crime? And most haunting of all, if Adnan didn't do it, who strangled this vibrant young woman and left her in a shallow forest grave? By the time police made their arrest, two families' lives were destroyed. One grieving a daughter they'd never see graduate, the other watching their son branded a murderer. The truth, it seemed, was buried as deep as Hai's body, and the justice system was about to make a decision that would echo for decades. The courtroom buzzed as Adnan Syed's murder trial began in December 1999. Prosecutors painted a damning picture. A jealous ex-lover who'd enlisted friend Jay Wilds to help bury Hai-Min Lee's body. Their star witness, Jay, delivered chilling testimony, claiming Adnan showed him Hai's corpse in the trunk of a car. But cracks emerged immediately. Jay's story kept changing. He altered key details about locations and times. The cell tower data linking Adnan to the burial site was later revealed to be unreliable. Most troubling? Defense attorney Christina Gutierrez, once a legendary lawyer now battling illness, failed to call an alibi witness who could have placed Adnan in the library during the murder window. The jury saw a confident prosecution case. They never heard about alternate suspects or that Jay had struck a plea deal. After just 6 hours of deliberation, they convicted 18-year-old Adnan to life in prison. As he was led away in shackles, two families wept, one for a daughter lost, the other for a son they believed innocent. The verdict closed the case, but opened endless questions about justice. For over a decade, Adnan Syed's conviction seemed final, a tragic but closed chapter. Then, in 2014, journalist Sarah Koenig's Serial podcast turned the case into a national obsession. With each episode, millions of listeners began questioning, was justice truly served? Koenig's investigation exposed gaping holes in the state's case. Jay Wilds, the prosecution's star witness, had changed his story multiple times. Even the location where he claimed to have first seen Hayes' body shifted. The cell tower evidence, once deemed damning, was revealed to be unreliable for pinpointing exact locations. And perhaps most shockingly, Adnan's defense attorney, Cristina Gutierrez, had failed to contact a potential alibi witness, Asia McLean, who remembered seeing Adnan in the library around the time of the murder. The podcast also uncovered troubling questions about the investigation. Why had police never pursued other leads like Hayes' new boyfriend, Don? Why was there no physical evidence, no DNA, no fingerprints tying Adnan to the crime? And how had Jay's testimony been shaped by hours of unrecorded police interviews? As Serial gained momentum, legal experts and armchair detectives alike dissected every detail. New evidence emerged. A previously undisclosed note suggesting another suspect had threatened to kill Hai. The public outcry grew, with supporters arguing Adnan had been railroaded by a flawed system. Yet, for all the doubts, hard answers remained elusive. If Adnan was innocent, who killed Hai Min Lee? And if the system had failed, what did that mean for the promise of justice? By the podcast's final episode, one thing was clear. The truth was far murkier than anyone had imagined. The case was no longer just about Adnan or Hai. It had become a mirror held up to the cracks in the legal system itself. On September 19, 2022, after 23 years behind bars, Adnan Syed walked out of a Baltimore courthouse as a free man. Prosecutors had just vacated his conviction, citing alternative suspects and serious flaws in the original case. For millions who had followed the saga through Serial and HBO's The Case Against Adnan Syed, this moment felt historic. But for Hai Min Lee's family, it reopened wounds that had never healed. The prosecution's motion revealed shocking new details. Another suspect had threatened Hai before her murder, and this information had never been shared with Adnan's defense. Police files showed possible connections between this suspect and the crime scene. Combined with the unreliable cell tower data and Jay Wilds' inconsistent testimony, the case against Adnan had crumbled under scrutiny. Yet the victory was bittersweet. Within months, Maryland's appellate court reinstated Adnan's conviction on a technicality, only to have prosecutors ultimately drop all charges in October 2023, acknowledging they lacked confidence in the original verdict. The legal whiplash left both families devastated. Adnan, forever branded by suspicion. The Lees, denied certainty about their daughter's killer. The case's legacy is a Rorschach test for America's justice system. To supporters, it exposes how bias, tunnel vision, and ineffective counsel can destroy innocent lives. To skeptics, it reveals how media spectacle can overshadow victims. And for Hai Min Lee, the bright, beloved teenager at the center of it all, the tragedy remains. No definitive answers. No closure, just an unfinished grave and questions that may never be resolved.